Hey, I think we're live. Hello there. Welcome to probably the last stream for a very long while, because I will be very busy in the coming weeks. Maybe there will be an update video, but this is just me going live. So, anyways, let me see if this is going to work. Sorry about that. Should I just go around about YouTube ads for a quick second? Okay, YouTube ads they're, they came back. I'm trying to watch a video and suddenly there's this video of some streamer trying to play this weird RPG feed, and they literally use the word PORN in the ad. It's like, why? Is this ridiculous? But anyway, that's my quick spiel about ads. So, let me just talk about, Star Wars. Yeah, okay. Before I go on about anything political, I know I did a bunch of hashtags in the thing. It's like a political Republican, but I've been a huge Star Wars fan. I've seen episode 4. My first time seeing it was in kindergarten, so well, a long time ago. So I saw, sequels 7, 8, 9. I even saw 9 in the theater. Fun fact, I had some weird glasses on that day, and thus everything looked red. Which actually made the movie a little bit better, because honestly, X-School should have been red instead of blue, but to trace back to the point, my biggest problem with the sequels, they didn't plan, it was no plan. If they planned everything out from the beginning, and maybe wrote all the scripts before they start filming episode 7, we could have had a better product. TV shows, some have been great. Andor was perfect. Rogue One was such a good movie. Probably the best Disney movie of the Star Wars era, or the Star Wars movie of the Disney era. Obviously, you got the bad ones. Book of Boba Fett was bad. Kenobi was mid. The Acolyte, it was basically bad to mid. Like, some of the ideas were interesting, but problem is it was the whole theme of the whole show was all over the place. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a murder mystery. Then it shifted to another, like, oh, so we went from a murder mystery to a, okay, we gotta find this person, to a, I've been betrayed, I'm gonna go to the only person that has known me. Inconsistent, which is my biggest problem. I have all the Disney Star Wars is inconsistency, and I've what if scenarios and my own versions of the sequel trilogy, but I don't know. It's like I I've watched videos about what George Lucas planned for a sequel trilogy, and some of it was interesting. Like having the bad guys be more of a criminal organization, more akin to the the war on terror. I don't like the idea of having Maul being the central villain. I actually like his ending in Rebels. I think having him be ended by Kenobi was a bit of a narrative choice. There could have been several ways to make a new villain, like a completely new one. Maybe could you could have just had Talon, I guess, if you want to please George Lucas, just be obsessed with the tree, like, or then something. I know there was actually a people of whatever sequels were kind of a play by play on the the Eugene Vaughn War and Legends. Problem is, one, audiences like lightsaber duels, so you're going to deal with an enemy that has no lightsabers. Now, I guess you could always do like a weird hybrid where it's like maybe an Asian Sith Empire comes from the unknown regions. Who knows? I do hope Star Wars can get better. I'm not one who's like Star Wars is dead. Star Wars is dead. I hope it gets better. Maybe it'll get better. Who knows? On to the politics. Hold on a second. Delete scene. Okay. I think my audio went out. I'm gonna double check this again. You might be wondering. Yes, a prediction. Yes, recently the Poly Market has opened their 2028 betting stuff, and so I decided let's do a prediction between Gavin Newsom versus JD Vance. So for Newsom's VP, I decided to do Senator Cortez Masto, Nevada. I was tempted to do AOC, but I decided maybe do a little bit smarter and maybe Newsom tries to go the moderate route. But it's like probably going to pick a Hispanic because he's trying to posture himself as the official face of the resistance. So, anyways, if you see my videos, you know my spiel. I've actually kind of changed around the point system a little bit. So safe is now 11 to 15 points, likely 6 to 10 points, lean 3 to 5 points, tilt 0.5 to 2 points. Let me know if you prefer that better than my old system. So anyway, for safe Democrat, be the West Coast, Hawaii, Colorado, Vermont, all this up here, Delaware, Maryland, DC, safe Republican, Alaska, Utah, most of this. I think Iowa will become part of the safe category. So is Texas and Florida. We've seen a lot of shifts in the 24 election. I highly doubt they're going to stop. Also, Ohio. Yeah, okay, so if the law's like, okay, Texas, Florida, safe. I believe, JD can probably improve more on the margins that Trump had in 24. Maybe fill the last few counties that were still stubborn. Florida's obvious. The Democrat, let's say Illinois, Rhode Island, Maine's first. New York. Hmm. New York, New York. Yeah, New York. I'm gonna say it's gonna be very little likely. And then also Maine's at large. The likely Republican, Maine second, Arizona and North Carolina. I think Vance will be able to improve more in the margins. North Carolina and Arizona. I think the proximity to California will be able to advantage to the Republicans in 28, since Newsom is a governor right now. Will no longer be in 28, but besides the point. Lean Democrat. I'm gonna say Minnesota and Virginia. Lean Republican. Nevada, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. And then tilt Democrat, New Mexico, New Jersey and New Hampshire. Then finally tilt Republican, West Wisconsin. So as you see, I was almost tempted to put New Jersey as tilt R, but I decided not to. I think Newsom will have some of appeal within the white, educated, liberal population there, but it will become very close. Oh, if I got Nebraska second at large, tilt D. Oh, and I think New Mexico. I think Vance will continue expanding the margins, but still you got Albuquerque and Santa Fe, and you got Wisconsin. I think Newsom does have somewhat of a appeal to those progressive Madison type people, but I think the Driftless areas will save Republicans in this scenario. And the popular vote, I think, will be Vance plus 3 to 5. Actually, I'm on 3-ish, maybe 4 at best. I think one of the biggest weakness for Newsom is his tenure as governor of California. I think there's a law set if you can attack him for that, and I'm gonna say in this scenario, Newsom will perform, I think, a lot more worse. What's it? I think worse than Kamala Harris ever did in 24. I think Harris was more of a could be was in this scenario probably a little bit more appealing of a candidate than Newsom, more or less. Sketch out that Newsom was governor of California. Now, I do preface this is considering there's not a faction of the Democratic Party by the progressives. Now, that scenario, I think, could only happen if Republicans somehow keep the House and expand the majority there. Now, let's say if there was a fracturing, so now let's say AOC is a candidate, President colors green. Don't know who a vice president, so I'm gonna put some progressive VP. In that case, I think Vermont, no right, will go towards the AOC's party. I'm going to assume if there was a split, it would be more of a Green Party merger type thing. I think I'll move Minnesota into the tilt, New York into the lean, Vance will flip New Jersey and New Hampshire, and also Nebraska second at large and Maine at large. It'll also cause Wisconsin to be lean, Michigan to be likely, also Nevada as likely, Georgia's likely, and Pennsylvania as likely. And then I think North Carolina, Arizona would be safe. So I guess that's the changes that would happen if, you know, AOC won some type of a successful third party challenge. So now let's do a Senate prediction. So safe Democrat states, it'll be these states, safe Republicans. Okay, so now we got the likely Democrat. That would be New Jersey, Virginia. That's it. Now I think New Jersey, it depends on who wins the governorship in this year. If the Republican does win it, I actually expect these candidates to be a lot closer. But right now, like Republican, Iowa, Texas, how do you put that in Alaska? I know there was a the whole Paxton's going, being divorced and he's so far the lean candidate. I think Wesley Hunt may jump in. Who knows? But I highly doubt, even if it's Paxton, I highly doubt a divorce or an affair scandal will be enough to sink it, especially in Texas. So now you're going to go have lean Democrat. Actually, we now got what I'm going to say the toss-up states. So lean Democrat, New Hampshire. I don't think this race is competitive anymore. Now, I'm going to tell Democrat. I think Georgia, I think also holds on. I think Democrats are able to flip Maine. I think Maine's going to be a toss-up, I think. It depends on who runs against Collins. Actually, no, Maine's Tildar. So then we got Michigan and North Carolina. So good news, North Carolina is, Tillis is no longer running. He's retiring. To be candid. And we don't really know exactly who's going to be the nominee for the Democratic side or the Republicans, but it's looking like maybe former Governor Cooper is going to run for the Dem nomination. I think it's lean D for right now. Now, Michigan. Tiltar. And here's my explanation. It looks like one of the Democrat candidates, Al Said, is gaining. I think they may try to, I think may run the primary due to the fact of Tommy Mandani running the New York City Democrat primary mayor. I think they're going to be that dumb and nominate no person for the Michigan Senate race. And I think that's going to give most likely Rogers a very easy race to win. So I think that's going to be Tildar. So the number stays the same, 53 seats. So yeah. Now, governors, states to governors, okay. Safe Democrat. So, yeah, a safe Republican. Kansas will be a flip. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the likely Republican. So now I'm going to have likely Democrat. And then in lean Democrat. I think Wisconsin. I think I you know what? Tilt D for Wisconsin. Likely for Minnesota and in California. Oh yeah, and for likely are for Ohio. Lean for Georgia. Now, I think Biggs will nearly pull off a win in Arizona. It could go Tilt D, Michigan. I guess also since I did Tilt R for Senate and had Al Said as the Senate nominee, I think he'll drag the Democratic nominee for governor down with him. So yeah, there's my impromptu prediction. I'm not gonna do the House because that will be a pain butt. So all I can say is Ohio is most likely is definitely going to redistrict. Texas is seemingly going to redistrict, and if that happens, that's going to be a pain in the butt for Democrats. You know what? Yeah, I know. We're going to do a quick House prediction. Doo, doo, doo. So let's say Republicans they're able to. I don't know which seats in Texas are going to gerrymander, so assume that these seats. I'm picking at random, so forgive me if all looks if it's not actually mapped. So let's say this is the gerrymander map of Texas. So not a competitive. Republicans have a very much of an edge. So going from east to west, Maine's second. I think as long as they don't primary Golden out, I think that still is right race to win. And then I think these two New York seats will be tilted only because of the effects in the mayoral race. New Jersey and then this one in Pennsylvania, I think are safe for Republicans. I think Perry's done. Also count the Ohio seats as redistrict. North Carolina's first. I think it depends if I think his name is Don Davis runs for governor or not. Let's assume he does not. Still wins that. And I got a comment on my Twitter, saying that this seat will not flip to Democrats. I still think it will. Michigan, I think this is safe. Well, not safe. It's still not going to be flipped. I'm gonna say that, and also, and Van Orden is definitely gonna, I think, win because Wisconsin they're not going to gerrymander their seats. Iowa, Meeks is probably going to go down. This seat still in the pub stuff. Passes first. Bacon's going to be going gone, but it's going to flip to Democrats. Say in Colorado, I think whoever his name is going to probably go down. You just support it. He's supporting an amnesty bill in Congress. Yeah. I've heard rumors that Utah is going to redistrict. I've always done it that way, but I'm going to assume not. Maybe they get cold feet. I know I'm flying through this like crazy. Now, California is trying to redistrict. Problem is, they're going to put it off for a spec election. Problem is, I don't think, unless they can do them real quick in November, I highly doubt it's going to be that effective for 26. So that's plus with prediction with the seat gerrymander in Texas. Now, Democrats, they could go completely nuts and say, we're going to primary all the moderates. Which means these seats I'm going to change could flip. That would be the biggest mistake they can ever make. So, going back. Now, for Democrats to win back win back the House in a Texas gerrymander scenario, they get to win at least a couple of seats in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, at least one of them in Maine, the one in Wisconsin, and then probably at least the Iowa seat. Now they could probably win both in Maine, one in Michigan. I said Maine. So yeah, redistricting is going to be interesting if Texas does it. And I guess I should meant to prepare the audience if this whoever's going to listen to this video live stream. If Republicans take back the House, we're going to see a lot of the blue and non people. They're going to claim it was stolen, it was going to be hacked, or there's no elections at all. I highly I don't think this is gonna be a situation, but there could be riots or could be more protests. So strap in. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream. I guess this is gonna be my last one for a long while. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.